Right, hello there everybody, welcome back to another week of SAF1 Esports action. This week we are at Monaco, which appears to be at night time. Unless it's going to rain, but no, it is night time, I know that. Welcome along, I am Matt. As always, I will guide you through the action of this historic racetrack. Last week was quite something, wasn't it? So yeah, that was good to see. The sandings will be with you shortly. Something just caught my eye there and I got distracted. Sorry about that. You can't afford to get distracted around this track. It will bite you really hard if it happens, but let's go on board with Dexter. He's one of the guys on a lap, so he had a quiet race last week but managed to survive and finish. So that was good to see. And surviving to finish is probably the aim of several of the drivers this week. Around this is the tightest part of the track, the slowest corner on the calendar, I believe, at about 22 miles per hour, or a little bit more in kilometers per hour if you're European or use that system overseas. The Ghost goes 111.4. Dexter's hit the chicane. Very tight through there. Let's see what he can do in the run up to the final couple of corners. Swimming pool section, 53.6, very quick around here, the quickest part of the lap. You just throw it around and hope for the best. A little bit of braking and then a little bit of a slower corner now into the final corner. And up with the DRS, which is a little bit pointless, but Alonso goes quickest there. Dexter P3, there you go. But Quinton, there you go, 1:10.3. That's a great lap early on, but Vino's validated, so he will drive into the pit lane and grab a coffee and go again or something. But the batter's on a lap now. He comes through the tunnel. It's very nice to see. There's a restaurant under there somewhere, or an entrance to a casino or something. But yeah, nice to see the helmet for one of the all-time leading drivers around this track. Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of action in qualifying and hopefully not so much in the race, but we are going to stay on board with the Matter, who is on the medium tyres, which is a brave call at this stage of the session anyway. And let's see what he can do. That's actually not a bad time. Just a little bit slower than his teammate. There you go, two avatars, 6 and 7 within a tenth of each other. In fact, it's less than 10th. It's 25 thousandths between the two, so yeah, you can't do better than that. Conrad is one of those that in the media this week, which is all on me this week, so if you didn't like the questions, I apologise, but anyhow, Conrad was one of the first to get back to me, so he did lead the season early on, but it all went downhill, so I did ask him what's gone wrong since, as he's fallen down the order drastically, and he's very kind to reply that the entire season's been up and down for him. Still the only driver with 2 wins though, but a string of bad luck has cost him a lot of points in the championship. He does have confidence coming into Monaco. He does think he can win if everything goes okay. Well, we'll see what he does in the race, but so far he's got the pace to be up there for pole position. Okay, oh, that was very late movement out of the way for the car there, but I don't think it hindered him too much. It's a great lap so far around the final corner. Does he bother with DRS? He does eventually, but couldn't open it straight away. And that is a provisional pole position by a lot, actually. Rodney Jordan, who had his debut last week, but a string of bad luck, a disconnection and a spin, and that ended his race prematurely. I know he is quick around here, and Sector 1 proves it. He is purple. Let's stay on board with him, but we mentioned briefly earlier in the stream, Speed Knight was another one that I was asking questions for, and he's made quite the impression since he got here a fortnight ago. Can he continue with this amazing run of results tonight? Of course, Jordan validates there, as you see, so yes. it is Monaco we're talking about. He's hoping to cross the line as he did in another league around here, with similar rule sets such as this. I think a top 10 is there, but it's all about those first couple of laps when all the cars are bunched up and avoiding damage. It is indeed. It is very much damage limitation if you get damage early on, but Jordan's going for another lap. So let's sit on board with him and see what happens. And I think the final question, was to the Mercedes of Quintin, who led the session early on. With Monaco being arguably the pinnacle of motorsports, what are your thoughts on the track and what you expected to achieve tonight? In which he replied, as Jordan seems to not want to do a lap at this juncture, never mind, he's going to go again. Let's go on board with the Ferrari, who's not doing anything. The timing tower's got all kinds of weird on me, but Dexter is on a lap. Let's go back on board with him again, as his teammate's just ahead, not on a lap, gets out the way, nice and early. Quintin, it is indeed a fun track to watch racing on, but to race on it in this game is a different story. He's personally not a fan of the track, as it is extremely difficult to get these cars around certain corners. Yeah, and they're too wide. The cars, though, is not the corners. I mean, if the corners were too wide, it wouldn't be a problem. But that being said, he's had decent results here in the past, and hopefully, if he can keep it clean on track, a good points finish is always on the cards. It is indeed, and let's see what happens with last week. Just to recall, Mackett took a brilliant victory, and he had a brave one-call strategy. Despite Conrad charging hard in the closing stages of the race, Mackett kept it cool and sealed the win. It was a great drive, and Dean on the podium again, and Mad Trav finished into P3 despite a late pit stop for soft tyres. But just to remind everyone, Zardi got driver of the day last week, who's not... Oh yes, he is on track. I misread it, but he is on track, so let's go to last week's driver of the day and let's give him some glory. Into the chicane. Oh, he has no front wing, so that's not going to last too long. Sorry about that. Wasn't my fault. And as you see, he's had no front wing, and that's unfortunately... Oof! Alonso almost lost it there on the way out, but unfortunately that is a retirement. Zardi luckily ghosted his on, otherwise there would have been seven or 8 cars out there. Gotta press the button. Come on, Cody's. Move that car away. Actually, let's find one on the track, because that's just depressing to look at. Anyhow, so just to remind and recap what the standings are after round 6. You have Mad Trav leading the way on 150 points, but Nadeem, with his string of magnificent podium finishes, is now just 11 points behind on 139. Mackett on 121. Conrad, the early championship leader, 4th place on 94. Then you have the Batter on 83. Brandon and Ray on 78. 67 to Zardi. Phantom 63. Dexter's on 56. Alonso in the McLaren on 48, as is Ronald in the other Racing Point. Quintin in whatever car he drives. Yeah, that's the other Mercedes. Knighton on 38. He's only been here a few weeks, so it's a great start for him, as we touched upon earlier. Yes, Quintin's definitely in the Mercedes. I had a moment, a senior moment. I'm sorry. Matty's on 37 points, just behind him in the Renault. Vino 24 in the Haas. Dukes to 21 in the Ferrari. Quintin in the Haas on 18. Jordan and Corsa, the only 2 regular drivers not to get off the mark, but it was their debut last week with issues. Jordan, let's try again and get your lap time in on the board, shall we? Williams Racing on 222 in the Constructors. Renault, despite leading the drivers, 2nd place on 184. Mercedes in 3rd on 168. AlphaTauri in 4th on 133. No, wait a minute. They'd be 5th. Sorry. Alfa Romeo were on 134, AlphaTauri on 133, Red Bull 127, Racing Point on 115, 81 to McLaren, 77 to Ferrari, and 42 to Haas. So all the constructors are moving about seemingly weekly basis, which is so good about this whole setup in this league. It's very competitive, and that is Jordan IP7 on the mediums, and that is a very decent lap time. Be interested to see how much fuel he's got on board to do that, because I've got a feeling he may have some more pace but didn't want to push it. As we tick down under 6 minutes of this session to go, people could be preparing for their final run, and Dexter 11.6 is last of the people to do a time, but not by much. This field is going to be very thinly spread out, like Zardi's already retired, unfortunately. We saw that. Lost his front wing, 11.0, same time as Speed 19, but presumably Zardi did it first. Yeah, and then a little bit further back is Alonso. So yeah, it's very, very tight. And then you've got Quintin on 187, Matty on 190. That's 3 thousandths between the two there. And then you've just got the odd 10th here or there, all the way down the grid. So oh, yeah, it's quite an intriguing race already. And let's go on board with the matter and let's find out what is the matter all about this week. Yeah, you can tell the commitment through there as he comes into the final corner there, and over the DRS activation point. That will put him P8 and up to P3 as someone improved just in front of him, but that didn't matter as the pun not intended there. Ronald's all over the road. I think he's just clipped something on the way out of the pit lane or something, but that's good avoidance from the matter. Now, championship leader hasn't always had it his own way, but still leads the championship. I think qualifying has been his real weakness, but he's got terrific race pace. So let's see what he can do in qualifying, as this is the one that really matters for track position. Yep, seem to be pretty much on the line through there, and then through the swimming pool section it's pretty quick. Probably the quickest part of the track as he lights the sector 2 up in purple. This could be close to a front row start if it would end now, but it won't. It's 3 minutes away, but this is going to be close. Pops it into P2. 109.2, a couple of tenths, and I'm not sure where he could find them because I didn't see the whole lap. But I'm sure he'll feel if that was a nailed lap or just a safe lap before he goes for another one. Doesn't necessarily mean that anything, but tyre wear is not much of an issue around here, so you can probably run 2 or 3 laps on the softs around here and you'll be starting the race on them, and it wouldn't really hinder you too much, whereas tracks like Spain or another bank track like possibly Zandvoort, the tyres wouldn't really like that, but Vino, I believe, the tyres in the pit lane. Yep, he feels he's done enough, and for now P3 is good, but there's a lot of people on track that could improve, so he may well be starting down towards the lower reaches of the top 10. I won't keep you posted on that. There's 2 minutes with this session to go, 2-minute warning, and I think Quinton's just lifted off there just to go again, compose himself and go for one final push. Is Duke's doing the same thing? No, he's leaving the pit lane. I don't know what's going on anymore. Quinton in the Haas improves to P10 on the mediums. That could well be key later on, but let's have a look at Speed Knighton, who's just started the flying lap. So we don't see any heroics into Sandavart in the race. And Phantom retires from P8. Also, I believe in the pit lane. Nice helicam shot at Monaco at night. It's one of the best you can see. If Knighton improves by a second, he'll jump up to P6, and he's 12, so that's just how tight this field is packed, and that's terrific to see. Let's see what he can do as he comes into the swimming pool section. Let's have a quick go on board and see the commitment and the line. It's very quick through there, as you can hear and see on your screens. Around the final corner, well, final couple of corners, and into the start finish straight now. Activates the DRS. He's behind his teammate, I think, and he gets a bit of a toll there and improves to P6, as I say. So that's a decent lap. He could go again if he wants to, but Jordan's invalidated. Don't think he's got less. He's very on track. No, he can't go again. That's his session finished. Alonso's timed that just about perfectly. He'll be last to finish his lap. Think anyone else now, and that's the Renault in trouble there. He won't get to go again, so he'll be starting outside the top 10. Let's have a look at somebody else. Mack is going around the final corner now, opens the DRS. It's not really a straight, it's a little bit of a curve, start finish curve, but there you go, to P6. The man is slightly down through sector 1, but just into sector 2, he's way down on that. I don't think he's going to be improving this lap. But he could have a magical third sector which could improve him, but I don't think so. He's going to want to finish the lap anyway. Activates the DRS, gets a bit of a toll from the Ferrari ahead of him. Nope, no improvement there. And I don't know what's going on. It's apparently on an out lap, but it's time's over. I don't understand this game anymore. Dex is finished, down in P14. Alonso, he's the one that crossed with a few seconds to go, so he's the one that could have the most to gain by leaving it so late with track evolution. But arguably it's not really that much importance here, as he only manages to go P12, 2/10 outside the top 10. So that tells you everything you need to know about how packed this field is. Just over 110 from 7th, and then the 11 bracket starts at 13th, so that's very tight through there. And I think that will do it for this session. Wonder what the race is going to bring, because that was very entertaining to watch and flew by very, very quickly. But of course it is Monaco, so you never really know what the race can bring, and hopefully they're all prepared for the long haul, because this is a long race, especially if there's an early safety car. But for now, we can see Conrad is in pole position from Mad Trav. And I don't know what's going on with this Ferrari. He's still on an out lap. I guess we'll stay here because there's nowhere else to go. Yeah, no idea what's going on. It's still on an app. I have no idea. I'm a little bit confused as to what I'm supposed to do in this situation, but there's just yeah, there's just a Ferrari going round and round. I don't know why. I think we're going to be seeing this a lot in the race, just a Ferrari going round and round for no other reason other than the fact it's race and they're supposed to go round and round. But I guess he's getting a final bit of race practice in there. We'll be out of fuel. We're going slowly through the tunnel. I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen, watching this around the world. Just take a opportunity to take a tactical drink there. Keep hydrated. It's important we do that in these times. But I forgot to mention at the top of the broadcast that they are now here at ASF1, sponsored by RAM. Let me just find out the more information about them. RAM Solar Energy, I believe it's called, so that's just off memory. But anyway, let's confirm the grid first and get back to that on the formation lap. Conrad, Trav, Vino, Quintin, Matter, Mackett, Knight and Dexter. He wishes he was P8. Sorry mate. Dukester, Phantom, Jordan, Quintin, Alonso, Zardi. There's Dexter in P14. Renov, Matt in P15. Ronald 16th. I was going to say he didn't get a time, but he did. Everyone got a time this week, so that's always good to see. Okay, so just to finish off the word about these sponsors, SAF1 Esports, welcome on board for another week. RAM Solar Renewable Energy, visit their website at www.ramsolar.co.za for all your backup energy and solar energy needs. So a big thank you to them, and we will hopefully have an amazing race where people's power doesn't cut off. Whew, here we go. Oh. 2 seconds to the formation lap, everybody. There we go. And on come the formation lap lights, and off they go, and there they go away. That can be on, that can be interval always. I need that. Don't need it on penalties, there shouldn't be any at this point, but let's have a look at strategies. Hard tyres for Ronald at the back, everybody else from Jordan in 10th who got through on the mediums, which is a very good thing for him. Everyone on mediums, and of course everybody else in the top 10 will be starting on their soft tyres that they qualified on. So that's a brave call to go for the hards around here, but it makes a lot of sense, especially if there's an early safety car. You could then get track position and hold everybody up, because there aren't many places to overtake around here. You're going up to one very shortly. I mean, you could try and put it down the inside here, but you have to be very, very brave and complicit in that to happen. But the real big opportunity could be coming out of the tunnel into the chicane in the braking zone. Oh no, Jordan's supposed to have fixed his internet, but he's left again, so that's unfortunate for him. Hopefully he'll come back shortly, but not too soon, because that would yeet the lobby. But yeah, Ronald is on the hards and could benefit from an early safety car. We'll keep an eye on his progress, as Conrad seems to be just, yep, coming around the final corner, the grid up one more time. They're getting started away, and Ronald's a little bit further back, but isn't that far in reality, as Conrad hasn't hit the box yet. Ronald will be. Let's just sit on board with Ronald till the lights go out. And I'm hoping that it's a very clean start, as are the drivers, but it is going to be very, very, very tense for a few laps while everyone just sorts themselves out and everyone puts themselves in where they should be on track. Some people arguably out of position because of the nature of this track. Didn't quite get the lap timing that they wanted to. But here we go. We are going shortly. There's the lights. And away they go into turn one. Let's see who wins the race. Is it going to be Conrad? Is it going to be anyone? Yeah, it's going to be Conrad, and it's not a very long lead up to turn one, so that's probably the best thing that's happened to him, as Trav is in P2. No idea what the timing board's trying to tell everybody, but and none of that is correct. Let's go on board with Trav, who's P2. Couldn't quite get it on pole. Yeah, Vino is in 3, P3, yeah, that's correct. I think it's sorted itself out now. Two Mercedes in 4 and 5, they tend to do this a lot in races, start off quite strong together on track, but in the end, they're not usually together. The Matters had a good start there, as has Mr. Knighton in 7th. Alonso in 8th, Quintin and Jordan's still not back yet. Dexter's had a monster of a start, up to 12th. Not, yeah, there you go. There's another position. There's another couple of positions for him through the chicane. As you have a couple of cars around him disconnect, that arguably makes it easier, but still nonetheless he has to make sure he brakes in the proper places in order to take advantage of that, so that's a great start for him. And that will fall. Fastest lap after the 1 lap, yep. Doesn't really tell the story. But even so, 1 lap of full race fuel for these guys is quicker than I could ever do in quali, so credit to them all. They are very, very good at what they do and can only get better from here on in, so Conrad's on a massive lead at the moment. He's pulled up 3 seconds off the track. I don't know what's going on, but we'll find out later. But Quintin's going to line up and move on Navino possibly in a couple of laps time. He's just going to sit there. Of course you will have ERS very shortly as they cross the line. To start lap 3 it will be activated, but they won't get much chance to use it until they come around again. And there's the predicted strategy: softs to medium, softs to hard, or you could do hard softs if you're on them. Matt's come in very early on for fresh hard tyres, so he could well go to the end on that, and there goes the fastest lap for Conrad, who's way off in the distance already, and Mackett and Quintin are in. Very early stops, and that's not going to help with a 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty. It's becoming a nightmare already. We're only 3 laps in, but ERS is enabled. This is probably the battle we want to be on right now. Yep, you can't really do that from there. Oh, sorry about that. Oh. The chicane, and hopefully you don't cut that chicane, because that is easy to get a track limit infringement penalty just like that. Knighton, where's he on track? He's can't find him there. He's P6. Could well have done the chicane, but anyway, never mind. I'm sure that won't bother him now. He'll think about that later and just get on with the job in hand. Ow. Let's give Zardi some screen time, who unfortunately crashed out in quali, but still manages to have a great start. He's also on medium tyres, so he could go quite a long way into this race as well. So look out for some of these people that are on softs to come back later in the race, and those on, I mean, like I said, the tyre wear's not too bad here, but you certainly would want the advantage of being able to go deeper, which opens up your options, especially if there is a safety car at any point. They're in control of that, and you just as likely to see a one-stop here as you are a 5 or 6, so anything can happen, and very often does. Which is all you want, really. Just, you never really know who's going to win each specific race when you come to it, unless it's real life and you go, oh, how there's one. It's not a criticism of his, he's a very good driver, but it just proves the difference between a strong number 1 and a average in a good car. I mean, I like Valtteri, but he's just no number. Shouldn't be in the Mercedes anymore. It should be somebody else, but we'll get on board with that later. This is not the time for my F1 opinions. This is just because Monaco brings out the worst in me, and I apologise for that, but never mind. What a horrific mess of a track. I mean, it's... Jordan's... saw him come back, there you go, he's regained control just as Phantom was about to try and take advantage. As you see that with the lock-up from Phantom there, he realised, I think a little bit late, that Jordan's now back in the car, so... that is good to see Jordan back in the session, in the McLaren, and let's hope he can get off the board this week. I have no intervals, I don't know why. Look, Conrad's about a year in front. There we go. Knighton's in the pits. Has he got damage? Yes, he has. Probably switched too hard. There you go. And he could go to the end. And this is anybody's game at this point. 16 started, 16 still running. Sorry, I spoke too soon. I've jinxed it. That's a safety car. I'm sorry, I've done it again. I've done it again. That was a frantic start, opening in 6 laps. Just about a sixth of the way there now. As I'm in the Renault already pitted, so he can get track position over Duxa, who will be on the mediums. It's a difficult call to make, and this should be the leaders coming in now. It is. At least Conrad, how's he got a 12-second lead? Has Trav forgot his accelerator or something? Because Conrad's just monstrously storming away, as in come the top 3, 4. Mata will not pit. I think he wants to lead a lap of Monaco, and who can blame him, but he's not going to, because Conrad had such a big lead that he could get out the car and do a marathon and come back and still have the lead. I'm not sure how he built up that lead, but if he can hold on to get a good result, I will ask him later. Ronald and Jordan there. Jordan will be going to the hards presumably, as well everyone in the pits, I imagine, and the mechanics weren't ready for him. Oh no, mechanics, what are you doing? Oh, whoops. That's a track limit infringement there to the teammate of Dexter. Okay, they both have similar sounding names, Dexter, Dukester. Both in the Ferrari, that's going to get confusing. Thanks, lads. Anyway, I digress. Of course, the soft tyres should still be good for a while for the Mata, because it's quite flat round here. There's not really much tyre deck to do. It's just everyone has to stop once. I'm sure they'd all no stop if they could get away with it, and that's only possible in the rain, and it's not going to be possible today. Unfortunately, but we can do what we do. How does that even work? You're not going to do it now, are you? No, he's not going to. Okay. That's why sometimes I get confused, because I go to one driver and the camera thinks I'm on the previous guy, and then I don't know, whatever. Just the two with I think they're just track limit infringements because everyone else would have served theirs under the safety car when they came in. Safety car in this lap, so that means Conrad, you're going to have to build your lead back up again. And now he's on mediums. He shouldn't have to stop again. I don't think he does. But we'll see when he wants to go. Just going to keep these behind him as long as he can before he goes. Safety car nicely in the pits now, and he can go whenever he wants and chooses to take the normal line out of the final corner and then go. Which of course he's allowed to do whenever he wants to go. They go. But even so, he still managed to get quite a lead. How's he doing this? Is he a xenomorph? That's insane. How's he pulled out 2 seconds already? That is just incredible. But championship leader wants to get involved in this little scrap for the podium, and he's doing just that, trying to force away past Zardi into the final podium position. But of course at this point it's just for placement on track. He wouldn't even think of a podium at this stage. Not quite, but in a couple of laps maybe he could force a move down the inside. He's just sizing up where Zardi's weaker around this track than he is. Some of these camera angles are ridiculously good though. Some of them don't really help when they're staring at a wall, but well, there's a yeah, okay, Zardi's just made a mistake and Trav's got past. For a second I thought it might have been the other racing point for a minute, but it wasn't. He's definitely got an issue because Quintin's gone past now, and Vino as well. Has he clipped the front wing? He has. That explains everything. I don't know where he did that. I mean, he was very wide coming into the final corner, so perhaps he did it there, but just couldn't turn into the pit lane because there was cars coming or whatever. But I'm sure he'll be in this lap to get that sorted and onto the... It's a shame, he is on the hard tyres already, so he's going to have to go mediums and hope that he could do a bit of tyre saving. Not that he needs to do much, but safety car can help later of course in the race, but there's still a long way to go in this race, so anything can happen, and very often it usually does. If I go on board with you and praise you, you're about to hit a barrier. As Conrad sets the fastest lap of the race. There's bodywork all over the road here. DRS has been re-enabled again, of course 2 laps after the safety car comes in it's enabled, but there's bodywork. I don't know whose it is. Looked a bit blue, so it could be Knighton again, or it could be a Red Bull, it could be anyone, but I don't know what's going on anymore. It's Monaco. Just keep on the track and keep going round. A little bit sideways out of turn 1 there for Dukes though. He's got on board with Mackett, who's hassling Dexter. They are close together, and this is a good start for both of them. Dexter goes a bit deep through there. That's what pressure can do, but for now he stays ahead. But how much further can he go under this amount of pressure from behind? He's a good solid drive for this Dexter, but sometimes Monaco seems much harder when you've got a car right behind you. But he's coping with it well so far. Through the chicane, there you go. Good line for both of them. And Conrad again. I mean, given his current pace, he's going to be finished in about 5 minutes. It's incredible. How is he this quick already? He must be completely dialed in. This could be a cause of an overtake into turn 1. Mackett on Dexter, and Dexter just has no choice but to wait before he can turn in. I don't think there was any damage there, but he Could have tapped the wall on exit. I think he's okay. Yep. Yep. 2 end plates. There you go. Sometimes you can't tell. But he's okay. Next up, behind him is the Renault of Crowd's teammate, who was a championship leader, who's now in 3rd after the issues for the racing run and a little bit of a loose rear end as he enters the tunnel there. Did he get damage? I'm not sure at this point. Don't know. Did he? Can't tell. Yeah, must have done a little bit. Yes, he did. He's going to have all sorts of issues through here with that missing end plate. He's just, you see how much he's struggling to turn in. So he should be in the pits now, which is sadly going to end his... Oh, he's going to go on. That's brave, but... The ghost is coming. I think Duke's hit the wall behind him there. So he was up in 3rd a few laps ago, and now he's down in 12th. Just goes to show that when Monaco bites, it bites hard. And often, usually. But he won't be the only driver that suffers wing damage. Jordan's back in the car still, so that's good to see, and he's just been in the pits again, so he's definitely going to the end unless he gets damaged later on. Alonso on the hards. He could come into play later on. Just because he's 15th now doesn't mean he's not going to be challenging the podium later on. Everyone, I think, has the long game in mind here, which is great to see that everyone could change their thinking like this. You saw in qualifying some people going on the mediums for this track. Usually they go softs for the track position, but mediums means a lot more because they can go slightly deeper. But of course, that doesn't really make much of a difference now, as some of those pitted under the first safety car. So any advantage they may have had is now neutralised, given that everyone pretty much changed tyres under the safety car. So I don't think Ronald did. There's a yellow flag. Jordan's out. I don't know what happened to him. His rotten luck continues when he's unfortunate. Let's see where he did it. I don't know at this point. Was it a retirement in the pit lane, or? So bored with his teammate to try and find out as he crashes up to the back of a Haas in front of him. Oh well. Yellow flag. Must have been a retirement in the pit lane. They can go again now. This is incredible to see 2 or 3 Formula 1 cars going through there, following each other around. You'd think it'd be impossible, but the cars are so much bigger than they used to be, so it looks extremely tricky to do now. Heavy braking into the chicane now. Hold your line and get on the power nice and early, which gives you maximum run through the swimming pool section. Yellow in sector 2, that's the other McLaren out of this race. And he's done that after the tunnel by the look of it. Well, down to 13, so of course there is points for top 15 here, but if you can finish, big points for everyone today by the look of it. 13th will be 3 points, at least, guaranteed for everyone if you get to the end. Plus the 2 participation points if you finish the final lap. and won for fastest lap inside the top 10, so possible 33 points for a win, which is why this championship is so wide open and so tight, because we rarely see the same winner 2 weeks in a row. We rarely see, well, unless it's yeah, I've lost my train of thought there, but it's Nadim. I was going to say, unless it's Nadim, you rarely see the same person on the podium, but I can't even see him today. But talking to Nadim, his teammate has all kinds of issues with no front wing there. He's going to struggle to get that back to the pits for a service. Rosati will have seen that and will just sit behind him, knowing that he's about to have a free position. So he's not going to try and force his way past, which other people would have done, but there you go. And opens the DRS, of course, just to rub it in. DRS to pass absolutely nobody. What a great invention DRS is. But of course these guys have a monster of a challenge to finish this race. We are almost halfway through this race. Oh, Vino gets all kinds of out of shape there, but manages to keep it out of the barriers. Fortunately enough for him, but he's definitely lost a bit of time to the car in front as he drifts outside the DRS activation point. So he will not have DRS down the straight, which, or does he? I don't know. This game lies to me. He was outside the second window, but still got it anyway. I don't know anymore. I just want to... I just want to know where to look next, because there's so many battles that it's impossible to really get a handle of it. God, he's gaining on Dexter, but not really close enough to do anything about it, so I'm going to have to stay here. Vino and Quintin seems to be the two people that are closest to each other at the moment. And as you say that, Conrad has an 18-second lead over Trav. Trav's no slouch, so this is a fantastic performance so far from Conrad, who really wants to put himself back into the title picture. And performance like this, as we've lost Speed Knighton. We've lost Speed Knighton. I'm trying to find out where that is. Oh, there. Oh, that's an interesting one. Down to 12. VSC. Delta, everybody, Delta. We don't want to see any time penalties for speeding under the virtual. I've done that so many times. It's annoying, but I'm sure these guys are well tuned to know the delta times they need to be doing. Let's call it 50% race distance now, which means there's 50% of this race still to go. Market takes a great moment to take a pit stop, and he's definitely going to the end, but where would it bring him out on track? It should bring him out where he's gone in P6, but no, he'll be just about be P7, I think. Maybe P8. DRS is re-enabled. He holds on to P7. That's a little bit harsh. Comes out the pit lane, gets a 3-second track limit time penalty. But did he hit the wall on the way out, which is why he bounced over it? I don't. If he did, he didn't get damaged by the look of it. Just trying to have a good look. This is what it's going to tell me. Yeah, I think there's a little damage there, but he'll be loath to pit again. It just goes to show how tricky this track is, though, at times. You can just... Sorry, can I have your helmet? That is really nice, thank you. Send it to me after the race. Obviously, you need it while you're racing. I've lost my mind, everybody, I'm sorry. Vino, P4. He's having a very solid race so far, and I really don't want to say anything positive about anyone, because you've seen what happens. They end up out of the race, and I don't want that to happen. Let's have a look at this little battle here. Dexter, Mackett, and now Zardy's got on the back of that. So yeah, let's focus on this battle for a bit. Mackett is pulling away from Zardy though, so it's just a battle for P6 at the moment for Dexter, but it's tricky to get past him. Catching up is one thing, but overtaking is quite another. A little bit of a lock there from Dexter, but I think he's probably okay. Maybe it's just a game saying he's locked up. I don't think he will have locked up twice like that, although he's under heavy pressure. It's not a place you typically see him make a mistake. Zardy's not disappearing from the back of that McLaren. Wow. It's been a while since the McLaren's been that colour, I can tell you. Mercedes. It's... oh, dear me. I'm sorry, engineers and drivers. I am sorry, I'm incompetent. It's a great race though, this. I really enjoy it. Oh, I cut away from helicopter cam. How cynical. But Vino is having the drive of the season so far. Mackett's going to go for the move now on Dexter, who's got no choice but to just wait and turn in. He knows he's going to lose the position, so he doesn't try to fight it, but instead I think he's going to allow Mackett to take him back with him and hopefully be able to battle back through in a couple of laps time. He's just going to sit behind for now, but Zardy of course is now hot all over the gearbox of Dexter himself now with a little... oh, Dexter's teammates out of the race, down to 11. This is becoming more attritional than even I thought, and I'm quite pessimistic when it comes to stuff like that, but yellow 3, what am I talking about? Yellow sector 3, oh, give me a break. Oh dear me, that's a little bit harsh to give him a penalty for that. That's extremely harsh indeed. It doesn't feel like there's only 11 cars running, it feels like there's 22 still. It's battles all over the place, although they are becoming less and less with these retirements now. What's that even for? Oh, is that... that'll just be Duke's AI car just going out of the pit lane into Rosberg corner. Down there, that's where he went. There you go, it's just got a track limit warning. Multiple times of doing that, so hopefully he won't get any more. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Just the one for Vino, Mackett, Dexter, which is harsh, and Trav's teammate Matt in the Renault. So yeah, there's definitely still some places to be found, but it's difficult for someone when they're 15 seconds behind somebody. But Zardy and Dexter now is the one to watch. Dexter's gone a little bit deep into the penultimate corner. Can that Zardy gets through? Yes, he can. And he held on to it. An uncharacteristic mistake there from Dexter, but still in P8. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that at the moment, but well, actually he wouldn't be. He'll be a bit annoyed with the mistake he's made, but I'm sure on reflection in a couple of hours after the race he'll be like, you know what, obviously if he holds on to this position he'll be like, that's a great result for me. Where can I look now? Dexter's fallen off the back of Zardy, so I don't know whether to just stay on board and hope that he gets a monumental drive through the swimming pool to come back at him, but with the amount of time he's dropping off, I don't think that's going to happen with the difference in tyres as well. I think it's just a case of all the drivers now are just going to do their own thing and just try and hold position, because a lot of these drivers haven't had the start to the season that they'd want. And what's that for? I don't even know anymore. Wait, it's cleared yourself up, whatever it was. Ugh. You know what, we might as well stay here for now. Dexter's going a little bit backwards, I'm sorry, but that's okay. He's just trying to get the tyres back, I think, after a small incident, but I think this is the battle to be on, definitely. So we got Phantom. There you go, Phantom and Matthew down there. You know, Quintin. For the final step on the podium, which is now becoming a realistic possibility for one or both of these drivers, so they just got to keep doing what they're doing and see what happens in the end. Because Vino has one penalty, so that's not going to help his case at this point, but Ronald's in the pit lane there, put on some softs. I think he wants to have a little bit of fun and go for a fastest lap perhaps, but of course if he got it and things stay as they are, he wouldn't get any points for it because it's only in the top 10. So that's more for a case of personal pride. But just in case you need a reminder of the point system, is 30 for a win, 26 for second place, 20 for third, 20 for fourth, 18, 16, 14, 5th through to 7th, 12, 10, 8 for 8th, 9th and 10th, and then 5 down to 1 for 11th to 15th. But this is becoming a very fascinating battle between Vino and Quintin now. Haven't seen enough of it this season, but I'd like to see anyone challenge for a podium on a given day. But that's a little bit of a rear end slide there for Vino as he put the power down with the DRS, but it didn't cost him too much in the end. Luckily he was able to hold it, but I've seen those go wrong. Don't know what that's for either. Looks like Dexter's really struggling on these tyres. Thinking about it, that's what the yellow flag was for. Of course, if he does pit now, he would drop to the back of the field, but he might not have a choice. His tyres look horrible to me, but he's going to go on. Fair enough. But he was moving very slowly through the middle of the swimming pool section there. Let's ride on board with him for a lap and see if he's got any issues, or if it's just a one-off. Yeah, he seems to have got back under control. Whatever the issue was, he's not made the same mistake, and Conrad's having too much fun out there. He thought he'd make it a little bit more interesting. Of course, they can get another 3 of those and still win the race, so it's very much in control right now, and Dexter's definitely got whatever issues he was having under control for now. But let's go back to Vino, who's just over a second behind P3. Of course, you got Phantom, who's a second behind the other Renault than that. So let's actually go on board with these for a bit and give them both some camera timers. They've had a very inconsistent start as well. Of course, now I've gone off it, Vino seems to be catching back up again to Quintin. Let's stay here for a moment and let's see if they can make something happen on this lap. Yeah, that's a very tight, slow, windy, pointless corner, but There used to be nothing like it in the 90s and early 2000s, but these cars just really aren't suitable for this track anymore, I don't think. But hey, what do I know about it? Take nothing away from the performance of these drivers still running. These are some of the best in the... Well, they are the best in this league, and even some of them can't make it to the end of this race, so this proves how much of a challenge this track really is. But you never really know how much is too much to push until you've pushed too much. But it does look like Phantom has a bit of wing damage, so he probably can't capitalise on any chances he does get. Have a look from on board the Renault. Don't think he's got damage, which will make his job a lot easier. Yeah, here you go, two little things sticking up at the side, two end plates. You can't really tell on all the other cars sometimes. But yeah, there's definitely a bit of damage on the Williams. It's unfortunate, but with Nadine not here tonight, which is sad for him. He was on a bit of a run. This does, of course, give some leeway to the Constructors' Championship. Here we have Vino again, close up to within a second. Either didn't have DRS or isn't bothering to use it, because what's the point? He knows he probably can't get past Quintin unless he makes him make a mistake. But every lap you sit behind another driver like this, mark it, there you go, talking of mistakes. Just infinitely pushes up the chance of a mistake by every second you sit behind an opponent, an NFL driver at a track like this. All it takes is one mistake to get past. What's the yellow for now? Was that Dexter again having a moment? Or was that somebody else? I don't know, I saw a red car going slowly, but... Oh, Ronald's had an issue there. I don't know what's happening to some of these drivers. They've just forgotten that they need a front wing. I don't know, but credit to them for carrying on and fighting the way they are, but I'd have been in the pit 7 times by now. Credit to all these drivers, of course. It's a driver's challenge, this one. So the matter's going for a pit lane. Was that a front wing? He's going for soft tyres and they'll come out P6, so that's a decent prospect of fastest lap for him now. He'll be on the soft tyre. Let's have a look what the fastest lap actually is. It's an 11.3 at the moment, so that's just about 2 seconds quicker than he's been going, but then he's been on the medium tyres or hards for a lot of this race, so he won't have had the opportunity to put the hammer down. Conrad's bored again, so he's come in. See, last week it was Trav that pitted for late softs. This week it's Conrad. Is that a mistake? Is that a mistake? How far behind is? Not too far behind. I think it's probably going to be okay, but it's a little bit of drama that we were so desperately waiting for. It's beginning to look it was beginning to look a bit like a procession out there. Cars just going around, just not doing anything, and then you've got a couple of people hit the pit stops, and all of a sudden this race just came alive again in the final few laps. Eight laps to go, of course, including the one that they're on now. Of course, Conrad immediately up to the back of Trav. I think Trav's just... You're going to go defensive there, you have to, and he's made it stick, so that's a very good move actually from Trav to keep in front for now. But I don't know how much resolve he's got, but he's going to need every last little ounce of it to keep that position. And of course Conrad has so much speed, he's nearly crashed into the back of Trav there. Such is the performance of fresh softs against 25 lap old medium tyres, but Trav's still out in front there. Vino's had enough of his tyres as well, he's going to go for softs I think. Oh, there we go, that's what the race was waiting for. 6 seconds now for Conrad, so this could get very, very interesting. As the race goes on. Of course, now with the recent update the Codemasters did, Trav would know exactly what he's got to do. Of course, in the old times, I say old times, like last year, you wouldn't have a clue, you wouldn't know that the driver directly behind you has any penalties unless you have someone in your ear telling you so. So it's always good to see what you need to do, and Conrad has got his way past and he's now going to try and open up that gap like he did at the start of this race. But of course he does have 6 seconds he needs to get out, and at some point these tyres are going to slightly fall off, so can he put out that gap before that happens? It shouldn't be a problem for him in this stage of the race, but you never know. You just push it one lap too many or one corner too many. He's just gone purple through sector 3, so that tells you exactly how much grip he's got, but how much time he was losing being stuck behind the Renault of Trav. Talking of fastest lap attempts, what's the matter up to? Is he going to set one? He is 8/10 quicker through there. Feels like I'm back in qualifying again for some of these boys. Everything just got a little bit more exciting. And let's have a look as he comes around the final corner. Doesn't have DRS to use, of course, which he would in qualifying, but even so, he crosses the line with an 11.5. That's not good enough for fastest lap of the race, but good for him to do his personal best. This yellow flag, I don't know why. There's some sort of issue for the car coming around the swimming pool chicane. Trav's already... I think Trav's struggling on those tyres, if I'm honest. I think he may have to pit. I think his mediums are just about letting go. They're still in one piece, but they're not great. 27 laps on mediums is a solid effort though, in all fairness. It must be said, but he's going to go again. 27 lap old hards aren't much better, but they've got about another 5 or 6 laps of poor usefulness out of them, so they probably are going to try and go to the end. Unless they get a puncture, they will pit, but that only opens the door opportunity for drivers like Vino, drivers like Mata, and possibly Mackett as well, to get past drivers like Zardia and Dexter. So this race isn't over yet for any of them. May look over for some of them, but even Ronald, a lap down, still has an opportunity to make up positions. If someone makes a mistake, of course. For Ronald, but I'm sure he's happy that he's still out there running at the moment, but I think... My pen's ready to write down the podium sitters so I can refer to it next week. Just because it helps with the memory. But of course, Quintin's bearing down on Trav. I think Trav's tyres are just about past their best, and this is where the hards are going to come into their own again in situations like this, because Trav just has to be very, very careful now that he doesn't pop those mediums, which I have to say don't look too far away from doing so. But the hards aren't great either, but they are a lot better than 29 lap old mediums. They feel about like 14 lap old mediums, these hard tyres, so it's going to be a handful for Trav to get on the podium today, but I think he might as well just about have enough to hold on for Vino, but he will be an awful lot quicker than him, so it's not over yet. Of course, he's got to hold on to P2 first. That's not an easy feat with someone who's got... And Mackey's just made a move on Dexter there with the 28 lap old hards. Yeah, at this point, yeah, you've got to applaud people like Quintin and Dexter for doing so long on these tyres, which at any other track they'd be desperate to get rid of, but they know at Monaco if they pit, they give the advantage back to someone else, and of course, knowing their luck, if they pit, the safety car will come out and everybody else gets fresh tyres, so I think it's just a question of how late do you dare go. I was saying that Quintin's an awful lot closer now than he has been all day, so 3 qualifying laps at the end is what you need to do. But it looks as though Conrad's in control again. What a performance though, I'm in awe of these boys. Taking tyres this long, taking an extra pit stop and still winning by about a pit stop, that's incredible pace that Conrad has there. Of course it will be less after penalties are deducted, but at the moment he can get another 2 and still win, as I said earlier, but I wouldn't recommend that practice, of course. But Quintin is now firmly in the half a second window, which could start to affect the handling performance if you're stuck in the dirty air of someone for so long, especially around here. It's going to be tricky to find that extra tenth or two you need to get alongside and possibly past him to turn 1. But he does have DRS, does use it, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough, because the straight isn't long enough for it to properly take effect. Yellow flag again. I think he's just I don't know really. Yeah, I really don't know on that one. I think the game's just going. I think the game's just throwing stuff at me. See, he's got done it again. Who's that even for? Who's he behind? So he's got I'm looking at Ronald. I'm trying to see who's behind. I give up. I don't care anymore. I'm going to focus on this battle because everything else is just seemingly too big a gap to catch. I mean, there's half a second between Phantom and Matt and the Renault, and there's also half a second between Mackett and Zardi, but this one is for the final step of the podium, as Conrad is now onto the, well, he has been for a while, he's onto the final lap of the race. We'll go to him very shortly. Oh no! Quintin had a little bit of a moment there. He's okay, but Trav's tyres are just completely dead, so he had to brake a lot earlier than Quintin was expecting there. We'll come back to this at the end, but we're going to go on board with the race dominator, I think I'm going to call him today. Conrad's just absolutely tamed the beast that is the Monte Carlo street circuit. Just a swimming pool section to go through there yet, the final chicane there, and then you've got the final couple of right hand corners, which he's going to negotiate perfectly well. This has been a performance that I didn't see coming. He felt confident before the race, but Conrad crosses the line and wins the Monaco Grand Prix here in SAF1 Esports. Going to be back on for Quintin and Mantrav to dash to the line. Who's going to... I think Trav might just about have enough road in front of him to keep him behind, but it's going to be a very, very tricky ordeal. Yeah, you got that, had to get that right. And Quintin's going to miss out on the second step by 0.7 of a second, but still a podium. Vino's had his best performance of the season, and he's going to cross the line P4, but will Mata get him on the line on penalties? No. You're going to see Ronald cross the line now. This is a new combination of podium people. We've had Conrad and Trav before, but I don't think we've had him in first or second, and then we've got Quintin and the Merc, who's never been here at all for me, so it's going to be an honour to talk to him. Zardy's got in-game driver of the day. I think this is going to be one of those times where I completely disagree with the game. I know he's made up a lot of positions, but you don't often see a performance like that from the race winner. He's controlled this race right from qualifying. He looked quick in qualifying, but I had no idea he'd be able to translate it that well into the race. But a sensational win there for Conrad as he crossed the line in first place comfortably from Trav and Quintin in second and third. But then we have Vino in P4, Mata in P5, Zardy P6, Mackett 7th, Dexter, best result of the season there in P8. Doesn't really care that he's a lap down, but he's P8. He'll take that all day long. Matt in the Renault P9. Trav's teammate. Phantom P10, Ronald Dukester. Ronald was the last finisher. And everyone else, Dukester, Speed Knight, and Alonso, Jordan, and Quintin with 2 ends. Very early retirement there, and yeah. I've already forgotten who I disagree with the in-game driver of the day there. Zardy, 13th to 6th. Yeah, okay, but the domination scene, they're going to have to disagree with that. Dexter's got a good shout as 14th straight as well, but I'll think about that and I'll let people know. But it's almost the time you've all been waiting for, the interviews of the top 3 drivers. I've seen one enter the fray. Don't know where the others are. Of course, I would start the interview and then the others come in, so I'm going to wait a while and play a bit their own game and let's see what happens. But that was a race to remember, I think, for different reasons. See, if I don't say anything, they won't come in, so I'm going to prepare and pretend like I've started because I can't see anyone else that's joined. So I'm going to turn to second place Trav. First of all, hello, it's good to see you back on the podium. It just wasn't me today. Was there a moment where Conrad did what you did last week in pit and thought, I'm going to hold on for the win, or did you know that he had a bit too much pace for you today?
Yeah, I know. Conrad was definitely way too fast for me. 1.2 seconds in qualifying, and I knew he would carry that into the race. So to me, it was just a matter of hoping for a second and third, or second and third. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Managed to get those mediums to work all the way to the end.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments where I thought your tyres were just about gone and you'd have to pit, but you certainly held on to the end, so congrats for that. Next week is another street circuit of Baku. Do you think you'll have better luck next week?
Yeah, I think I will. I might be on my wheel by then, but yeah, I think it'll be a good race. Hopefully, Conrad doesn't dominate. We've got Lewis Hamilton over here, just in a Red Bull, but yeah, I think we'll make it work.
Okay, decent result for you today. Sorry it wasn't the win, but second place is still very good for your championship standings. I'm gonna move on to the third place driver now. It's Quintin's first time joining me in the post race conference. So first of all, congratulations on your first podium of the season.
Thank you very much.
How was it for you out there? Did you think you'd get past Trav at the end because his tyres were noticeably more used than yours?
Yeah, certainly. I was hoping to get past him, but obviously it's such a difficult track to overtake. There's really only 2 realistic places where you need to get very good traction out of the corner, through the tunnel, and then obviously down the main straight. And I just couldn't get close enough to him. So I was hoping he'd make a little mistake, maybe pick up a penalty. And the same with Vino earlier in the race. We just had such a great battle. I mean, he was behind me the whole time, and I was just trying to fend him off and not not let him pass. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm quite surprised to qualify fourth and then finish on the podium. But I'm very, very happy about it.
Yep, it's a great time to get your first podium of the season. Of course, Monaco just feels extra special, but next week we go to Baku and the street circuit of Azerbaijan. How are you feeling ahead of that one? Can you repeat?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about Baku as I feel about Monaco. It's certainly an easier track, but there's also a lot of low traction corner exits, and it's kind of the same thing. Besides the long DRS straight, it's not actually an easy circuit. So I'm hoping for something similar, but I know there's some guys that weren't here that's still going to be quick.
Yeah, of course you have to be extra careful around the castle section, but thank you for your time and congrats on your first podium of the season.
Thank you.
I'm now going to turn to the race winner. Seems a bit underwhelming. He's dominated this track basically. It's like he built it for him, so congratulations on your very dominant win today. You must be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a tough race. It was a long race actually. I had the pace over the race, but I can't remember on which lap. I think I ran with the damage for like 20 laps, so I thought, yeah, here comes the bad luck again, and I'm gonna finish second, especially when I got out behind Trav in my second pit stop to the softs for repairing the wing damage, but luckily didn't fight too hard. But yeah, it was stressful at the start, but once I got in the rhythm, it was a fun race.
Yeah, it certainly looked like you were having a lot of fun up there, especially when you were able to get such a margin in qualifying as well. That must have given you the added edge you needed to get your championship campaign back on track.
Yeah, I didn't expect a big gap like that in qualifying, but I don't know, I think Monaco is one of my favorite tracks after this week. Monaco is not everyone's favorite, but after this I definitely think it's up there. I spun around at the Nouvelle Chicane, I had damage, and I still can't believe I won. Normally I'm 10th or 11th when all those things happen, but I'm very happy with my performance, and I'll take it to the next race in Baku. Feeling pretty confident about that race as well. But let's see, there's way more overtaking opportunities, especially if the guys are stuck in your DRS. It's quite tricky to drop them, and I expect a DRS strain in the early few laps. So yeah, it's going to be a different race, much more overtakes, but also you have to be aware of the walls and the slow low traction zones, because they can send you spinning into the wall as well. So the guys need to be on top of their game as well. It's not going to be an easy race, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, there's a much different run up to turn one than there was today, and the DRS is going to be very more effective next week, so you have to be prepared for that. But yeah, congrats to the people in the podium, and I think I'll end the race there, but not before saying, don't you hate power cuts? They're the gamer's worst nightmare, don't you think? But let Ram Solar Energy take care of that for you. Contact them now for a quote on a backup power system and never miss a moment of gaming action ever again. Thank you to them for sponsoring us, and thank you to you for joining us on this race, and we will see you same time next week. Good night.